Hi, I'm Bill Finnie. I did a PhD in operations research under Russ in 1970. And I met Russ in 1965 when I was a 21-year-old summer intern at Anheuser-Busch. Worked with Russ until 1991 when I left the brewery. Lots of good memories of Russ. One of them was just a few years ago when he gave an all-day program to 150 business executives in St. Louis at the age of 85 years old. Impressive. Two of Russ's lectures at Washington University when he was the visiting professor there in 1990 are among the very most stimulating experiences I've had as a adjunct professor there for 33 years. Russ was admired by many other people in St. Louis. In a few minutes, Jack Purnell will talk about his major impact on Anheuser-Busch. Bob Weinberg, who was the first vice president of corporate planning at Anheuser-Busch, asked that I give his respects and wish he would appear. Ambar Rao, who did a PhD in operations research in 1966 and just retired as the Fawcett Professor of Marketing at Washington University, would be here, but had family obligations in India. I would now like to read parts of a letter from Bob Virgil, who was Dean of the Olin Business School at Washington University while Russ was visiting professor there. Russ was the August Bush Jr. Visiting professor in 1989 to 1992, from Bob Virgil. Thank you for this opportunity to write about Russ's imprint on Washington University. I so wish my wife Jerry and I could be at the service. Russ took being a visiting professor very seriously. He came from Philadelphia regularly. He agreed to every request we made. When he was present, he made himself available to anyone. Russ touched hundreds. He conducted classes. He did research seminars with the faculty. He conducted management development sessions for business people in the region. He met with the chancellor and the provost. He held seminars organized by the provost with deans, department heads, and program directors across the university. Now comes the good part. Russ made people uncomfortable. He made them squirm. He made some angry, not only at himself, but at the dean or the provost who called the seminar. He challenged long-held views, accepted practices and biases. He told students that much of what they were learning or doing in the classroom was not very useful. He criticized much of faculty research in curricula in business schools. He told teachers who liked to lecture to passive students that the best way for students to learn was to engage in real-world problems and then have the students teach the teachers. He told business managers that their accustomed way of planning was wrong and that their top-down approach to organization was wasteful of talent and creativity. But Russ had enormous impact on those who came in touch with him. For those who came with an open mind, he changed their way of thinking and caused them to incorporate what he said. He certainly had this effect on me. I still meet students, alumni, and business people who recall Russ and give testimony to how he influenced their thinking and doing. I must say a word about Helen. She was Russ's companion during many of his trips to St. Louis. They were each other's best friend. The signs of their love for each other abounded. If Russ needed to be pulled up short, she could do it. Russell, she would begin. How many of us ever did that? We didn't even dream of doing that. Bob Virgil did not say that, I did. Jerry and I and Helen and Russ became good friends. We count our visits with them in their home on the East Shore among our fondest memories. Jerry is very fond of Helen and often talks of her. Helen is in our every thought at this difficult time. Then Chancellor Bill Danforth and I were recalling Russ shortly after his passing. Bill Danforth said Russ was an American original. He certainly was. I was blessed that I was able to know him. So too were those he touched at Washington University, Bob Virgil. One final personal remark. I treasured every interaction with Russ for one very simple reason. He made me think. Even if I disagreed with what he said, I always left with creative solutions to my problem. Being with Russ made me more creative and wiser. I sure did miss him.